In this class, we're going to learn how to make a spiral effect or something you can use as a rose. That spiral round stuff, you see it at the ending, how to make something like that. So the first thing we are going to do is to get the length of the fabric we want to do. Then you try to get the midpoint of the fabric. Then use your tape and mark. I'm using 3 inches, but if you want it to be big, I would advise you use 5. So from the midpoint, mark 3. I use 3, but you can use 5. Now just mark it this way and just keep connecting it. Please just watch the video so you understand it. So you know this spiral circle that people make, that you don't have an end, it's just going from the midpoint, you just start making the spiral circle round. So be using the same inches. So if you want to use 5, if you want it to be very visible, I would advise you use 5 or 6, but I'm using 3 because my fabric is not enough and I want it to be small. So I'm just marking 3 round. As you can see, I'm marking 3 round, and as I'm marking, I am connecting it. Now this circle is not connecting. I said it's a spiral shape, so it's not connecting. So you can see the way I'm just doing it. It's just going round and round and round. You can make as much as you want. You can make it as plenty as you want. Just keep connecting it till you get to the end points. So my fabric is not moist, so this is where I am going to stop. Sorry, I tried using a yellow chalk, but it's not so visible. So let me stick to the blue chalk. So once you do this, the next thing we are going to do is just to cut it out. You follow the shape you created and cut it like that in a circle. Make sure you follow that circle. Follow it like that. Cut it round, down, back to the midpoint. Once you get to this point, just mark it and cut out that circle part. So now this was the center. We are going to trace out the center because we need it 2 pieces. We are going to use it for something, so just cut it out. So now by the time you cut that, this is what you have. This is the circle you have. Now we are on our machine. This stuff I'm holding is called the crinoline. This is what it will give you that effect. There are 2 types of crinoline. One is 3 inches. This one is 1.5 inches. So this is the one I'm using. So now we are going to use a crinoline on this fabric so that we can get that exact effect. Now we are turning our fabric, this part, we're turning it to the back part, and we are placing the crinoline on it. We are just going to sew on top of the crinoline on the fabric. You can use 1/2 inch or less than 1/2 inch to sew it. So you're just going to place it like this and sew it. Remember, the fabric is 2 facing each other, front side facing each front side. Then you're just placing the crinoline at the center so that you'll be able to flip it and turn it around to close it. So you will notice that once you're sewing, your fabric is already, because of the crinoline, it's already giving it that a little bit shape. You're already getting something like giving you that effect. It's giving you an effect. It's not coming out straight. Once we've sewn it to the end, the next thing is we are going to close the upper part. We're also going to turn it and close the upper part of the fabric. So you can see we are closing the up. We're going to sew it down to the down, and at the ending point we are going to leave like an inches of like 4 or 5 inches for turning to enable us turn the fabric inside out. At the end of the fabric, we just left a little inch 4-5 to enable us turn it inside out. So you can see we've turned it. Now we're going to iron it. So we've given it a good press. You can see we've given it a very good press. Now we're going to close up the edges, the place we used to turn inside out. We're going to close it up. So we'll just close it up. Remember these circle parts we cut? We are going to join them together. The front side is facing the front side. We're just stitching them together, and we are going to flip it to the front because this stuff we are cutting, this is what we are going to sew it on. So you need this. So once you flip this out, we're going to iron it very well. Give it a very good press. After ironing it, the place we left opened for the turning, we are going to now stitch up that part. After stitching it, we're going to get the midpoint of it, and from the midpoint we're going to use our chalk to draw something like this shape, exact shape, because we want to sew on top of it. Now this is how it's going to look. We're going to follow the shape. You will pin and you just keep folding it. Are you saying just keep folding it so that it can give you that shape you want? The crinoline that is being added inside will help you to get that exact effect. So you can see the way we place it on our machine. As we are following the line we drew, we are folding it like we are pleating it. As you're pleating it, you are sewing on top of it. So just follow the line and just keep going round. You're going to do this till the end. Make sure every part of that base we had is covered, and you will see by the time you're done, you will get a very nice something that looks like a rose that you can use as a design. Now I'm cutting. I want to show you how it looks. We're going to fill up everywhere on this base. So this is how it looks, and now I just want to use my hand to just show you before we continue. So we're just going to be folding and folding and folding till we fill up every corner of the base with it. Remember, always pleat it. The machine, you're just going to keep doing it. You can give it any shape you want. You can turn it to any shape you want. That's fine. But make sure you keep pleating it and make sure you fill up the base so that you can get the effects you want. We've gotten to the end. You can see we fill up everywhere, and this is the end of it. We are going to, because we need it to, want to use it for our sleeve, so we're going to do this 2 of it. The second one, we're just going to repeat exactly what we did here. We're just going to repeat it on this other side again. So you can see this is what both of them look like. So nice and looking very beautiful. So now I want to attach it to the sleeve of our dress. This is the sleeve of our dress. The first thing we are going to do is to mark out the length where we want to put it. So on this my dress, on my sleeve, I want to put it on the at length 11. So I'll just place it like this. I'll place the base on it. Now this is why we need that base, because we cannot arrange this directly on the lace. So we need to sew it on a base, then join it to our lace fabric on the sleeve. So once you do this, you're going to use a hand needle to join it. So once you get where you want to place it, the next thing you're going to do is just use a hand needle to sew it with the net. You just use your hand needle to finish it. So when you make a dress and you want to put a rose, it may not be on the sleeve, it may be on the body of your sleeve or anything. Once you create it, the next thing is to use a hand needle and stitch it together to it. So we're just going to use a hand needle to finish up the work, and it's going to look very neat and very fine. So you can try this out and let me know the results if it works for you, but it works very well. So you can just try this out. It always comes out very nice and you will love it.